Do you naturally, automatically have chi? Or is chi something that you have to work at and practice in order to have? That is going to be the topic of this episode of Chi Life. Alright, so recently I've seen someone basically saying just that you don't automatically, naturally have chi, that it's something that you have to work and practice at in order to have. And so I thought it was worth making a video talking about this, to give a different perspective on this maybe. And I'm of two minds about making videos like this. I don't want to constantly be making videos, someone said something silly on the internet, I have to go and correct it. I don't want to be that person who feels they have to do that. And look, I'm not going to know everything that other people say on the internet, and we all say silly things sometimes, we all are maybe a little bit careless sometimes in how we talk about some things, and that's okay. And I certainly don't want to make it like I have some kind of conflict or argument with someone else. And that's why I don't mention who it is who I've seen saying this, or other things like this. Because I have made a couple of videos along these lines over the last while, where there's something that I thought, you know what, it's maybe worth talking about that, giving a different point. Because the other side of this is that statements like this, have the potential to really confuse people and give them the wrong idea about things. If anything, with this channel and with my teaching overall, is I really want to help people to have a solid, grounded, practical understanding of Qigong, of their energy, and so that they can get the benefits, as great a benefit as they can from that. And it's something that most people don't have a lot of experience with, and so even if there is a greater context behind a statement like that, if that context is buried, too deep, and people only see the surface of it, without a background understanding, it's very easy for people to get the wrong idea. And so I do think it's worth taking some care with some of these things that we say and how we say them. Maybe putting a counterpoint out there for some people who might get confused by this sort of thing, to be able to go, oh, okay, and just have a clearer, more grounded understanding around it. So, back to the topic. Do we naturally, automatically have chi? Or do we have to work and practice at this in order to have chi? This ties in also actually with another misconception, fairly common misconception, to the degree that it can be common. There's not that many people who are sitting around thinking about this, but amongst specifically martial artists, where there are a group, some martial artists who've been exposed to things relating to working with their energy, or other people working with their energy, and they draw this strict, defined line between, they're willing to accept that our chi, our energy, our meridians, our acupuncture points, that these could be relevant in terms of health and healing. Maybe they've had acupuncture themselves and it's helped them with an injury, like, oh yeah, okay, it works for healing. But they're like, but there's no way that could possibly work in the context of martial arts. It's like, oh, that's interesting. So it's kind of like saying a scalpel can be used for healing you, but not for killing you. It's an odd perspective to have, because generally if something can have an effect in one direction, it can also have an effect in the other direction. There's this duality to things, and it comes down to how we use and apply them. And so this, this statement of, we don't have chi without working and practicing for it, it's a bit odd, bit of an odd thing to say. Because if you're alive, by definition, you have chi. You have living energy. Chi is living energy. If you're alive, you have it. It's a bit like saying, well, because you can only lift a fork to eat some food with, you don't have any muscles in your arms. You don't have muscles because you can't lift up a big heavy weight and hold it over your head. You don't have any muscles. Sure you do. You have muscles. You're able to move your arm. They might not be big and huge and bulky like someone else, but you have them, you know. And so it's a strange distinction to make, to say you have chi or you don't have chi, right? Because you certainly do if you're alive. To say it in a more, a way that won't lead to confusion is that, there's varying degrees and strengths of chi that we can have. We all naturally have chi flowing within us, keeping us alive. But in order to do certain things, you need more of it. It needs to be stronger. In order to lift that heavy weight, you might need to practice and work and train at that to develop the strength of your muscles to lift that heavy weight. Doesn't mean you don't have muscles though. It just means they're not that strong yet. And step by step, gradually, you can work at that and develop that and grow that, make it stronger. That's kind of the balance for you. It's not one or the other. It is kind of one of the or the other. You definitely do have chi, but yes, do you maybe not have the degree, the strength of chi to do certain things? Absolutely, yeah. So you might not be able to lift that heavy weight. You might not be able to jump over that fence. You might not be able to climb that mountain right now, whatever it is. You might need to work and train at that. Yeah. I think having this balanced, this is just how things are, and having that balanced understanding is a healthier place for people to be. It's quite common in my experience for some people to get quite concerned that they don't know if they have chi, or they can't feel their chi, or maybe they've been through a traumatic experience and like, oh, I can't feel my chi anymore, maybe I don't have chi anymore. Of course they still do have chi. It's been impacted in some way, it's been constricted, maybe it's been weakened. But as part of being alive, you have chi, and you can develop this through practice, through training, and make it stronger if you want to. I guess that's another thing. I think some of these unusual statements come from like a perspective, whatever the frame is that someone's looking at it, and thinking like, this is the frame. So chi means that you can do this specific thing with your energy, and it might be applied to a martial arts context or some other context, and it's like, oh, so if you can't do that, then you don't have chi. But this is a distortion, right? Because chi is something much, much broader than that. And for many people, that may not be their interest. They may have no desire to do that martial arts application, or another area that this applies to is, what some people would call different spiritual things. That might not be their interest. So that's not their frame of reference. Their interest might just be being healthy and well, in which case they might have all the chi they need for that. And their purpose, even if they do want to practice, to train and work at it, is simply to be healthy and well, nothing more, and so I thought that might be helpful to clarify for a few people. If you're alive, you definitely have chi. Chi doesn't have to be some extraordinary thing. And again, this is something that I found, teaching people, that often when people are concerned that they don't have chi or they can't feel their chi, their energy, it's that they're looking for something extraordinary and unusual before they recognize that as chi. There's all sorts of different sensations that we can feel as part of feeling chi. We can feel heat and magnetism and movement and vibration, all sorts of different things that we can feel. And sometimes these things can come through more strongly, and one might come more strongly than another, depending on what type of practice we're doing and what's going on within our body that actually generates those sensations. But when we put them all together, when someone asks, what does chi feel like? And again, it can be any one or a combination of those things, but putting them all together, what does chi really feel like? It feels like being alive, because it's living energy. It's what makes you alive. And when our chi is rich and healthy and balanced, we don't have to have any extraordinary sensations. We don't have to have any stronger sensations of magnetism or heat or whatever. They can come again as a result of different practices depending what we're going on. But what we really have is a sense of vitality of life. And that's something that's good for everyone. And that's what natural chi is. All right. Again, hopefully that's helpful for someone. I look forward to seeing you on another vlog soon.